Hi, Wealth Builders. Welcome back to another episode of Sweet Millionaire Formula, the weekly show where we bring together individuals seeking to break the cycle of financial inequality by building generational wealth. I'm your host, Courtney Davis, two-time best-selling author and CEO of Sweet Millionaire Formula. For more information, please follow us on Instagram and to keep up with our webinars and in-person activities. This is going to be another exciting episode, but first, a word from our sponsors. Are you looking for your skin to glow this summer with a hydrating moisturizer that protects against UV rays? Well, Spa Weekend has the perfect item for you. Our new hydrating moisturizer gives you a hydrating skin moisturization that lasts all day. It's lightweight, non-greasy, and perfect for everyday use. When you get out the pool, you're going out to eat, you want to have that moisture and glow to your face, you will use our moisturizer at Spa Weekend Cosmetics. Guess what, Wealth Builders? Build Generational Wealth Period is released on Amazon. Sweet Millionaire Formula has produced its first book and its #1 best-selling. Build Generational Wealth is available now on Amazon. Tired of just hearing how to build wealth and want to know the actual steps? Well, we have the 12 steps to secure your financial future. It's available now on Amazon. Build Generational Wealth. Period. Wealth Builders, are you paying the tab for your friend over and over again or for your associate, or are you going to allow them to feel embarrassed at dinner? We have seen multiple times where you go out to eat with 12 of your friends and then the bill comes back $5,000 and everybody is sitting at the table confused on how they are going to pay this $5,000 tab. Some people order $200. Some people order $4,000. Some people order $1,000 plates. And some people didn't even eat at all. Some people just had a drink or two. Are they expected to pay your portion of the $5,000 tab? Because I feel like if you know that you are going to be going out to eat at a quality restaurant, wouldn't it be smart, or wouldn't it be, you can do two things in this predicament. You could let the friend group know up ahead of time, hey, this is my budget, such and such, such and such. I'm not exceeding my budget. I feel comfortable as a friend. This is my boundary, and I don't want to jeopardize anybody at the lunch or anybody at the dinner. Or there's a person who goes to the lunch, eats the food, knowing that everybody else has it to pay, and then when the bill comes, they are acting as if they are the victim when they knew when it came to the dinner that they did not have it to eat. So I want to get your take on today's topic. We have a few points that I want to just touch on. First is being able to have discernment. The next is jealousy in friendships. And the last is pocket watching friends. And you being able to decipher those individuals that are in your life who are pocket watchers versus those who are jealous of you, and then versus those who really care about you, but they just probably don't have it, and who is really a good friend, but they really just don't have it. Can I take y'all back to a story really quickly? Because I'm not going to lie, right? So everybody knows that I had a full scholarship to Howard University, and I met some amazing girls my first year. One of my old friends, she has a show called I Like Hearts on All Black. I think she sold that to Megan Good. I'm not sure. I don't know her logistics. And I have another friend who is an architect, old friend, who's an architect. She went on to graduate and become an architect at Howard University. I have a few more people in that circle, but when it boiled down, especially to the end of my first year and beginning of my second year and during the summer and all those things, these two girls were two of the girls that I could lean on, I could depend on, I could stay with, I could eat, all of that good stuff, right? So we in particular went to a trip, and it was spring break, and I knew that we were going to be staying in one of the luxury condos that was on like a timeshare or something like that when we went there. So I knew that we didn't have to have any money to actually stay anywhere. But my issue when we got to Atlanta was I had brought like $60, and that was literally from a check from work study. If anybody knows work study in college, it's basically you get to work a job up to like 40 hours a week, and then they'll pay you like $8 an hour, whatever minimum wage is, they'll pay your minimum wage up to like $40 an hour, and whatever the case. And so at the time, I don't know how many hours I was working, but I know when we went to the trip on spring break, I know when I went on the trip, I only had $60. Mind you, spring break is like a full 7 day away from school, out partying, and so while I didn't, I felt initially that I was gonna have the money. That's why I planned the trip with them. That's why I went. That's why we talked about going and all this good stuff. But initially, when it boiled down to it, I did not let them know I did not have the money to go on this excursion trip with y'all. I heard what they was talking about, what we were gonna do, where we gonna eat at, where we gonna shop at, and I was like, "Woo wee!" I ain't telling they ass nothing. I could not tell them that I didn't have the money. I didn't want to be the broke friend, and just realizing that I was the broke friend out of all of my friends. Like, I literally was the only person who didn't have parents to call on, who had to struggle, who had to go homeless, who I had to deal with so many other things outside of just going to college. And I believe, like, those two girls were there for me as support, as guides. And one in particular, I was gonna finish the story about the spring break. When we went to Atlanta, um, I had the $60, but we pulled up somewhere, and these guys was like, "Hey, we trying to treat y'all. We about to take y'all out. Follow us. We're gonna get y'all in the club." Da, 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 da. So we followed them, and me and all my friends, we was hyped. We was like, "Oh, these some fine ass niggas. They about to take us to the Atlanta spot, and we about to have a ball." In my mind, I was like, "Oh shit, I don't have to spend no money." I was so happy that I didn't have to spend no money. Mind you, when we got there, it was like a party. We had bottles and stuff like that. But then once some drinks started hitting me, I started busting it, twerking on the couch, dancing with the niggas, and then they pull out money and start just making it fucking rain in the fucking club. Y'all, I'm not making this up. They made it rain in the club. When I say when we got done, all of my friends, we left out of there, we all had some money in our pocket, like $50 a piece when we left out of there. And so, mind you, my little $60 that I came with, I had $110 now, bitch. So I'm working with something, okay? But that's just to say that's just one trip. We didn't, I don't want to get into too many more details, but that was an instance where I went on spring break with my friends with $60, and I knew that I couldn't afford all of the stuff. But it just so happened that we had a fun night. We had a fun opening night, a fun couple nights. Actually, spring break was lit in Atlanta, whatever. But yes, so even though I wasn't necessarily rich or had a lot of money, these two girls were still two girls I could depend on. I could be broke in front of. I could admit I don't have it, I'll pay you back. And even when I said I would pay you back, I meant I would pay you back. And I believe that they knew that I meant that I would pay them back because they knew I was working. Even if I didn't have the money right then and there, I still was able to just show up as a friend, do the part that I could do. And one thing about a broke friend, she gonna always have the most motherfucking fun. Okay? And she gonna get somebody to open up them pockets and somebody open up them bottles. I'm just letting y'all know the broke friend don't exodus the broke friend. Just let her pay y'all back. Okay? Is that what y'all doing? But now listen, I want to get into some real shit because even though they can discern that I was a friend that wasn't the richest, they never made me feel like I was less than them. We were all going to Howard University. We all had some type of sense or some type of intelligence enough to be in this environment with each other. So I never felt in my friend group that I was belittled because I was broke. What I felt was that I couldn't participate in the things that they were participating in on the level that they were participating in. And so therefore, some things I just had to not be a part of. And it didn't take anything away less from our friendship. But do you have discernment? Like, are you knowing when somebody is playing you and laughing in your face because you don't are less fortunate or don't have it? Or do you ignore it and you just keep on acting like, oh, well, they ain't talking about me? Because it hurts to know that you're being talked about when you're the friend who don't have all the money. But at the same time, are you able to discern, are those your true friends, right? Because true friendship, I believe, don't have no judgment. You can have honesty in a friendship. You can have um, loyalty in a friendship. You can have dependence in a friendship. But I don't think that you should go into a friendship and not be able to discern if a person is being loyal, honest, and real with you. And I think sometimes we're so desperate, especially in today's age, to be a friend, to be on the scene, to be a part of somebody else's clout, or to be the clout, or whatever the case. We're so determined to do all that we ignore our self-worth, and sometimes we're around people who don't even really appreciate us. And I believe that that's super important for you guys to understand, that just because you're around people, or just because you are associated with these people, you have to be able to discern if they're your real friends or not. And I would even fake broke. I would be even faking like I'm broke on an occasion, just to see who's my real friend and who's not my real friend. Because you never know until the road gets bumpy, until things start falling apart for you. You really don't know who's your real friend, because everybody's your friend when things are going right. But when things start going wrong, you don't have enough money. Who really supports you? And I don't think that you should depend on your friends to just pay for you. But I believe that you should be able to discern and have in your spirit, this person is playing in my face. They laugh at me every single time. They talk about me every single time, and it always hurts my feelings because they know my true story. And I think that being vulnerable in a relationship is very hard to do, especially in today's society, because when you log on to Instagram or Facebook with your friends, you want to seem like you have it together, da, da, da. But then if they know that you really don't have an apartment, they know that you don't have a place to stay, but you out on the trips with them, and then it comes and finds out that they be talking about you behind your back, it's like, shouldn't you have expected that? Um, with discernment, you shouldn't be able to know who's really using you. And you cannot blame somebody else for you not having money. You cannot blame your friends because you don't have your way to pay. But at the same time, I would never let somebody just play in my face. I would be able to tell, like, okay, this person is, they take a shot to me every time we get around the people. They know I don't have that much money, and they keep dogging me and throwing jabs every time we get around this certain group of people. I would just pay attention to stuff like that, right? Pocket watching friends. Now, a pocket watching friend is a user. Okay. I have been the friend that has been used, and used to the extent that, okay, I know you're using me, but you cook, you're a good friend, you're a good girlfriend, we talk, you check in every day. So it's like a give and take. I can't really say stay in a friendship if you feel like somebody is pocket watching you. Like, if you know you're the breadwinner in a friendship, and every time you come around, this person's like, oh, my tire. Oh, my baby need Pampers. Oh my gosh, I got an interview coming up. I don't have no clothes. Like, every single time you come around, this person just, like, you her man. Okay, that's a problem. And that's a pocket watching friend, because they know you will take care of it. But I feel like you can only be used by a pocket watcher but so much before you tell their ass no, or you stop coming around. Whatever works for you. But I just think that, like, in friendship etiquette, I want you guys to know, or just be prepared for some of the boundaries and stipulations and standards that you should have as a friend, especially when you are spending money and things of that nature. Because I feel like the first friendship money rule is to be clear about what you can afford. Let me say that again. Be clear to your friends about what you can afford and what you can't afford. If you don't have our Sweet Millionaire Formula budget list, I highly suggest you guys follow us on Sweet Millionaire Formula. Click the link in our website on Instagram and download our budgeting sheet. The budgeting sheet for me is the way that you see your finances before they come, while you're spending it, and then you know where your money is if you have more or less left when it's time to do activities with your friends. Have a budget sheet. It's definitely responsible for, as an adult, to have a budget sheet and to know when you have chances to splurge with your friends and when you cannot. And I feel like before you can be clear to a friend about what you can afford, you need to be clear with yourself about what your budget is, right? Number two, always assume you will split the bill. Always assume you'll split the bill, whether regardless of whether you're going out to dinner with one of your friends or five friends. Friendship money rules dictate that everyone should split the bill evenly unless otherwise specified ahead of time. Thankfully, when you dine out in a group, the waiter usually asks or lets you know whether the check will be a one or a separate. This is your time to speak up. And if you're comfortable with that, or if you're not. If not, assume that you're going to split every single thing, everything. The appetizers, you may not have eaten that or whatever the case. You don't want to get caught up in paying a $5,000 bill when you only had a drink and a salad. Assume when you come to nice places and nice events with your friend that you're going to split the bill equally. You know what I'm thinking? I just said that. But when you assume that you're going to split the bill equally, you're prepared for the outing. It says if you're going out and have a $50 spending limit, disclose that before ordering alongside everyone else. Your friends might decide to put your money toward the bill and cover the difference and opt to let you have your own. There's nothing worse than ending a nice dinner with a friend with the nickel and diming back and forth. Well, you had this and I had that. It's just plain uncomfortable. And I believe that it creates resentment in your heart or in your mind when you go out to eat. Your budget was only $50. You have spent $250, and now your light bill is backed up, your phone bill is not paid, and you have this issue in the back of your mind like, dang, I told you I only had $50, but you still indulged anyway. It's better to just let them know up front what your situation is. And again, real friends are not going to be like, go home, don't eat, like whatever the case. I would hope not, but I believe it's definitely adult of you to speak up in the beginning. Pay your friends back ASAP. Friendship money rule 3. Pay your friends back ASAP. If you owe a friend money, it's common courtesy not to leave them hanging. While it goes for everything, it's especially important for things that cost a larger chunk of cash, like a concert, an airplane ticket, hotel, back and forth. Asking for money can make people feel awkward, so bypass that feeling and get them their money as soon as possible. No longer than 72 hours, if possible. No longer than 72 hours, if possible. This lets them know that you appreciate their efforts and aren't taking advantage of their generosity. Stop taking advantage of your friends and not paying them back, and it creates a bigger wedge in your friendship. If paying them back will take you a bit longer, give them a deadline of when you expect to pay them back. But don't just ignore them. Like, don't ignore your friends who lend you money. Friendship money rule number 4. Don't ask for money for insignificant purchases. Seriously. That is probably the number one killer of friendship. Like, a true friend will respect your finances if you respect theirs. If you're being a pocket watcher or a jealous friend, you are putting yourself in a position to lose people in your life who could really, really help you by asking them for money for things that you know that it's not that important. And then you're asking for the money for things that's not important, and then you can't pay it back. Woo! Child. Don't ask for money for insignificant purchases, especially a close friend to pay you back for insignificant purchases under like $10 or $20, like coffee and drinks. It isn't a good move. Like, when you're close with someone, there's an implied understanding that they'll return the favor in some other way. They might grab your coffee the next time or pick up the round or so on and so forth. If you have a tight budget, you should never accept anything if you can't return the favor. Okay? You need to make sure you don't ask money for insignificant purchases. Seriously. And friendship money rule number 5 is always offer money if a friend buys you something. Always offer money if a friend buys you something. Even with a return the favor mentality, you should always offer your friend money whenever they buy you something. After thanking them, of course. If they decline, make it clear that you will get them the next time or return the favor somehow. If your friends are anything like mine, they'll shove your $5 back at you, and if you try to hand it to them. But if you Know that they won't accept your money. Offering it shows that you are not opportunistic and taking advantage of the generosity granted. It also shows that you don't expect them to cover you. When it comes down to the gesture, often it has more value than currency. The gesture often has more value than currency. Rule, friendship rule, money rule. Don't expect a full refund if you cancel. Don't expect a full refund if you cancel. So if you plan a trip with your friends that cruise $3,000, you paid your $1,700, but it's the week before and your boyfriend has stressed you out. You feel like you can't go because he's made a big deal. You're not getting that $1,700 back, and you cannot be mad at your friends. The trip is already paid for, right? Yeah, I'm sure it's already paid for. So you don't want to try to belittle your friends and beat them over the head for that money back because it's already a planned trip, and you have to take the loss. I feel like at all expenses just go on the trip, but if you have to, you probably mess around and lose a friend, gonna get that money back, right? So you need to set up boundaries in your friendship, and we all know how important having boundaries in our friendships are. And I just want to recap on your friendship money rules. Don't expect a full refund if you cancel. Always offer money if a friend buys you something. Don't ask for money for insignificant purchases. Pay your friends back ASAP within 72 hours. Split the bill equally. Be clear about what you can afford. Those 5 principles should keep your friendships intact. And I believe that people who respect their friendships, they probably already carry themselves in this manner. But if you're a friend and a pocket watcher and a jealous ass bitch, and you listen to this episode, revert that energy and make sure you understand that you have people in your life who you can call on. But if you don't have it at the moment, don't go abusing your friends for money and put them in a predicament where you're not paying them back. You want to show your friends that you appreciate them and that you value the friendship, right? One of the things that I wanted to highlight on today's episode while we were talking about budgeting, I wanted to give you guys some apps to use that will help your life out, help my life out tremendously. The first app that I want to recommend to you guys, because I know, like, say you sign up for a subscription. Oh my goodness, BET. I don't mind paying a little BET, but BET, I wanted to see what the Miss Pat show was, and I end up somehow through my Prime Video clicking on BET, watching shows, boom, and a couple days later, I see a 1099 charge into my bank account. I'm like, 1099 for who? BET charged me 1099, and I didn't realize, like it said, 7-day free trial, then you will be billed. And so we go on and we even if it's $2, $5, $7, those subscriptions add up over time. And if you forget your information, if you forget the password, Lord forbid you forget the password, you're gonna have to call customer service and be online with customer service for 20 years before you can get through about canceling that subscription. So the first app is called Rocket Money. Rocket Money cancel your subscriptions. They budget your money. They watch what you're spending. If you've spent more money this month than you did last month, they will give you the ratio and they will give you the breakdown, whether it's entertainment, food, shopping, on where you spent that extra money, right? The Upside app. I was not privy to the Upside app, but the Upside app is an app that can pay you up to $200-$300 a year, giving you cash back on your purchases like gas and restaurants. It's called the Upside app. The last one I want to introduce you guys to was the app called Flip. It's a coupon clipping online saving app. It's called Flip. It finds all those coupons for you without you having to search the paper and scout the paper for coupons. So I wanted to hip you guys to those apps. Again, those 3 apps are Rocket Money for canceling your subscriptions, budgeting your money, and pocket watching you. It's a pocket watcher for your money. The Upside app is a cash back app that gives you money back up to 25 cents, $1 every time you make a purchase at the gas station or restaurants, stores, and things of that nature. And then there's a Flip. It's called FLIPP. It's a coupon chip clipping app without you having to scout the paper for coupons, right? super excited about those things. I suggest you guys use those apps and be able to just save more money and put yourself in a position where you're, again, if you listen to last week's episode, you're able to have purchasing power for those things that you want to invest in the future, right? So one of the things that really stood out to me this week was the incident that happened where they were at the table and it was literally a fight about them paying and splitting the bill. I honestly want to know, would you rather not be invited to the dinner if you know your friends are gonna be arguing like this, or would you still come anyway? Me and my answer, I'm coming anyway, even if I gotta ask for confusion because I don't want to miss it. But now I can afford to pay for the whole dinner, so it's like before back then they did want me. Now I'm happy. Not quit. But before I couldn't pay and I couldn't even, But now it's like, do y'all want me to just pay for the whole bill? Like, I love that. I love that level up. This is why you guys have to tune into Sweet Millionaire Formula. Log onto our website. Get the book, Build Generational Wealth, 12 Steps to Secure Your Financial Future. I'm excited, y'all. On the next episode, we're going to discuss the credit card come up and how I'm able to live financially free between business credit and personal credit. Like, this is where it's at. This is literally financial freedom. Why would I be clocking into somebody's job? Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. I'm too financially literate. I'm too powerful on my own with my businesses, my books, my brand to be working at a 9 to 5. But I did not know the secrets. And I believe that if you guys are taking notes, or if you're going to be taking notes with the podcast, you can have a credit card come up and invest like a queen. But we'll talk more about that on our next episode, right? All right, guys, this is a portion of the show where we address comments, questions, and feedback from previous episodes, right? We had Haley, our entrepreneurship talk episode that launched on YouTube. If you go to YouTube and type in Sweet Millionaire Formula, you will see the latest episode is Entrepreneurship Talk with Miss Haley, aka at HD Brows X Beauty. She is a six-time certified PMA. And one of the questions that we had from our audience from her interview was, how is she able to maintain her lifestyle and her work balance? And if you guys watch the full interview, I believe that she has a plan for herself, which I got from the interview. I believe that she's optimistic and she just has her parents who are strongly in her ear and supporting her and giving her sound decisions to make. And I believe that she is getting to a place in her life where they're kind of merging together. She's not having to separate her work from her personal life. And she even told me, like, hey, a client will text me, like, hey, in the afternoon, 7 in the afternoon, like, hey, just sending pictures of my updates. This is 2 weeks post-op of my nano brows. And she's like, I'm not upset with that. Like, this is what I signed up for when I took on this business, and changing people's lives doesn't just stop after 5 o'clock. So I think she's able to blend her work and life balance together because she's accepting the fact that it's all one, that she doesn't have to be so strict on not answering people, not responding even after hours. So I think that that's super important to know, and I'm glad that she was able to give us some insight. Please go back and watch that episode. It's available now on YouTube. Entrepreneurship Talk featuring Haley. It's on our YouTube. It's Sweet Millionaire Formula. If you go to our Instagram, you click the link, it'll say YouTube, and the link will take you straight to our YouTube. So go to at Sweet Millionaire Formula on Instagram, at Sweet Millionaire Formula on Facebook, and you can go right into our YouTube episode. Some exciting news, guys. So Sweet Millionaire Formula is about to launch its website, right? And I'm super excited because we have in-person events coming up. We have virtual events coming up. We have workshops coming up. And this is a true testament to going after your dreams. When I started Sweet Millionaire Formula, I was a broke and battered person 2 years ago. I had just come out from leaving Cleveland in a violent situation with losing my little brother to gun violence. And I was so stressed out living here in the DMV, homeless in my car for nearly 4 months. I couldn't fathom that at 2 years later I would be financially free and starting 2 companies all within all that was inside of me is now starting to manifest. And I just believe that if you continue to build Sweet Millionaire Formula, it'll be the number one building generational wealth company in the world. And I super excited to have every woman, every child, every teenager, every person in your household literally strapped with a business, strapped with business credit, and strapped with personal credit that allows them to live financial freedom and not have to succumb to the racism, discrimination, and the tactics and manipulation that comes with working on these jobs with other people who don't value you as a person. I believe that it's super important to use your mind strength, use your words, use your intelligence, use who you are, your everyday presence. God has equipped you for a plan, and for you to wake up every single day and not know what your purpose is or not being moved closer to that purpose, it can kind of be a life that's depleted and that's lifeless, because if you're not serving the purpose that God has for you, how are you truly enjoying the maximum capacity of what God would reveal to you? I would hate for you to die and God show you, this is what I had planned for you in this elaborate life, and you settled because you only wanted to do the bare minimum. All it takes is a change of mind, change of heart, and for you to speak affirmations into your life. Like, I am going to build generational wealth. I will overcome poverty. I will not let last year be the reason I do not accomplish my dreams this year. All those affirmations and positive self-talk, I know it's not easy because we go through life and we go through days and we go through problems and go through losses. But at the same time, when it rises to the top, the next day is going to come and life is still going to go on. And you want to be financially strapped, financially literate to make an impact in your life, impacting your children's well-being, and an impact in their generation, the next generation after your children as well. So I want you guys to stay tuned because Sweet Millionaire Formula is about to launch our website, and I want you guys to be tuned in, right? All right, guys. So we're gonna get ready to sum up our boundaries, setting boundaries up as a friendship, and our friendship money rules. You gotta be able to discern who is for you and who is against you, who is really counting on you to make it, and who is just waiting for you to fail. You have to have boundaries, and you gotta be privy of the people who are pocket watching you, and you cannot just be living your life to show the people that you got it. At some point, you have to put a budget sheet in place that would reflect your intelligence, your CD bonds, your certificate of deposits, your bonds, your EFTs. All these things should be laced as assets in your brokerage account, your stocks. That's what an adult having an adult conversation looks like and sounds like. And I believe that all of you have what it takes to become generationally wealthy and financially free, but you have to put yourself in a position to become financially free by starting with the basics. Buy Build Generational Wealth off of Amazon. Build Generational Wealth, period, is available now on Amazon. I thank each and every one of you guys for listening to Sweet Millionaire Formula. The reason why a black woman who has come from the projects, who's lost her full ride to Howard University, who's went on to publish 2 best-selling books, who went on to launch 2 successful companies from the ground up, who's been able to land her own self $50,000 in business funding, who's been able to take my credit score from a 520 to a 750, all within 3 years. I made this happen for my child. I made this happen because I see the vision for myself. And I just wanted to say thank you because I see the vision for each and every listener. Please, I love it when you guys leave comments. At the end of each episode, there's comments that you can leave. Please leave your comments, subscribe, like, and share the content, the podcast on your Facebook. Tag Sweet Millionaire Formula in your Instagram videos and let us know that you're receiving the information and what it is that you want to hear on our podcast. Thank each and every one of you listeners for tuning in. We are just getting started and we have so much information coming to you guys that we cannot hold it in. I'm super excited. Thank you guys for tuning in to Sweet Millionaire Formula. Until next time, keep building that wealth. Period.